We are live.
All right. Welcome back to another Jewcast. I'm here with Alan Roberts as always. And I'm freestyling today. Nothing prepared. Oh, nice shirt, Alan. That's baller. I'm freestyling today. No questions prepared because we've got Patriot J, rapper and lawyer extraordinaire. Patriot J, welcome to the Jewcast.
My brother, thank you for having me, sir.
Patriot J, first question. What do you think about the Jews?
Oh, the Jews, man. I love them. I love everybody, Jews included.
You know,
I might get canceled for saying that today, but I love Jews.
My favorite thing is when Jesse Lee Peterson says to people, like, "Do you love white people?" And they'll like say something that's not yes, and he asks them again, "Do you love white people?" they refuse to answer. I just asked Patriot J, like, what do you think about the Jews? I didn't even ask him that. He just goes straight to, "I love the Jews. I love that."
Yeah, you gotta lead with love, man.
That's the problem. A lot of people got a lot of hate. I was just tweeting that today. People saw the shooting last night in DC. The two Israeli embassy workers that were shot, and I've been listening to a lot of people talk about this, and a lot of the people that are pro-Palestine were justifying it, saying, "Listen, this is what happens because of Zionism," and I said to myself, how is that different than justifying blowing up babies in the Middle East because of Hamas? Therefore, we're allowed to. It just seems to me like there's a lot of hate on each side, and both sides are willing to justify like murder because they don't like some of the things other people on the other side are doing.
Yeah, that's a good point, and I think it is funny. People do have similarities in that sense. They're always trying to point the finger at someone, yet they can't realize they're doing the same thing that the other side they claim to hate would be doing.
Yep. One analogy that I always think about is like the Bloods and the Crips. I don't know if you got to witness that growing up in South California, but is that something that you would draw the parallel to?
I don't know if I can, because I was not in gang territory at all. Thankfully, my parents loved me enough to not have me grow up in the hood.
We just think, of course, every black man in South California, of course, everybody knows about the Bloods and the Crips. So very disappointed. Alan Roberts, nice shirt. Patriot J, what do you think of the shirt?
What, did I say cracker? Yeah. Oh, that's fire.
Thank you very much. But the thing is, don't use the hard R because that's disrespectful.
Right? Yeah. Only you guys can say that.
Yeah.
Even then, like I want to see a DNA test. So,
that's our word, bro. Like, careful.
You're not white. You're not white.
I think reclaiming cracker would be more effective to shift, I guess, Overton windows rather than just saying the N-word all the time.
Well, yeah. Hey, wait a minute. Alan just said I'm not white. Patriot J, when I go to the basketball court, many courts in South Florida, I get called white boy. So am I white or not? We need to settle this.
I guess it depends on, who's defining white.
Yeah. I was just playing with you, Andrew. I think you're white.
Thank you.
I'd say you're white enough.
Yeah.
You're at least white adjacent. So, at the very least. No, I had these shirts printed up because I found it amazing. Like, do you know how many people have called me a racist for calling myself a cracker? I'm like, how the fuck does that work? But I think that we should start destigmatizing as many words as possible. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you want to call me a cracker? Call me a cracker. I don't give a fuck. Like, I find it weird because like people that use inflammatory terms for different races of people or different nationalities, different religions and stuff like that. It's like, why do we give a fuck what they say anyway? If they're saying it as an insult, why matter, right? Like they're using it as a term. Like when a white man calls a black man a nigga, it's because he's trying to get a fucking rise out of him, right? He's trying to get a rise out of him, right? why you give a shit? Like, I mean, like, we should get to that point. Like, just like look at the person and laugh. Like, a racial insult has got to be the lowest bottom of the barrel intellectual arguments possible. Like, if I like, that's why I've always said, like, I don't use racial epithets as insults ever, just because I'm more intelligent than that and I don't need to. Like, if I want to insult somebody, I'm going to make sure that I hit them in the soul, not in their skin color. You know what I mean?
I think something you said during there about, you know, racial epithets being like the bottom of the barrel, it kind of made me think that I guess the people who are, you know, so fueled or get emotional because of that, it's really because their intellect is probably at the bottom of the barrel. So if you throw something that's at the bottom of the barrel at them, for them, that's kind of like the top of the top.
Right. Right.
Patriot Jay, I've said for a long time, believe it or not, I've said black men are going to save America. And I said it makes sense for the arc of America to go from, slavery was at the inception of the country to the black man being the one to free America. And now we have Republicans like Byron Donalds, who looks to be the next governor of Florida. We have a spiritual leader like Jesse Lee Peterson. Like, black men are rising up, and I think the numbers of black men that just switched from Democrat to Republican was a huge part of Trump winning in 2024 and looks to be like the coalition of the future. What do you think of my premise that black men are going to save America?
I hope it's accurate. I had a similar feeling in 2020, but then, you know, what the libs did and everything to our election results. So that kind of, I guess, pushed me back a little bit, but it is encouraging to see other black men stand up and, you know, just embrace conservative ideals, things on the right, and walk away further from the left. I used to be a Democrat, man. I used to love like the Democrats, but they got a little too gay for me.
Do you think that exact phenomenon, like the Democrats being super gay and weird, like, do you think that's pushing away black men to the point that like it's not going to be cool at all to vote Democrat in the black community anymore?
I think so. It's going to take some time, at least a couple more election cycles. But if the Dems keep it up, I mean, it started with me. Like, I left in 2016 when they first started putting all the LGBTQ stuff ahead of things that actually mattered. So I think the more they continue to do that, the more it'll alienate black voters.
That's good to hear.
On that real quick, like, I still find it amazing where the Democratic Party pulls out, like, it's Black Lives Matter, then it's Pride, then it's trannies, then it's this, then it's that. Like, there always has to be a divisive mode. And don't get me wrong, I think the Republicans do it also to a certain degree, but it's like if they can't be inciting people, it's like they have no platform. How do you think that that's going to look moving forward? Like, they were just talking about Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders has admitted he's not running anymore, but they're literally looking at AOC and at Kamala Harris still to be like the front runners for their 2028. What do you think are they going to try to rehash the same gay immigrant, like, you know, BLM stuff, or do you think that they're going to try to find new plights?
I would hope that they would try to pivot from what's not working for them. That way, at least we could have, you know, some like real competition, but I don't think they're smart enough to do that. I anticipate them doubling down on all of the identity and labels, probably creating more labels to further the divide between the gays and the super gays, or the immigrants and the super immigrants.
You know, Patriot Day, we had Jason Whitlock on the show a few weeks ago. One of the things we talked about with him was, you know, Stephen A. Smith is being made a presidential contender for the Democrats. Like, they had a big interview with him on ABC, like, that he's going to be running for president. And I had thought that he could be a real threat because, you know, he's charismatic. He can speak in the debates. And Jason Whitlock's ultimate theory is that he's being pushed in order to bring viewers into the DNC, like into the Big Ten when they're doing the debates. Do you think that Stephen A. Smith as a candidate will bring black men back into the fold, that they'll be participating in the Democratic Party more, that they'll be watching the debates? Will that gambit work for the Democrats?
I think it might work to, you know, maybe garner more attention and eyes on them, but I don't think it's a powerful enough motivator to really turn that into votes or, active support or like volunteers. Because I do think a lot of people probably look at Stephen A in sort of a different light. I think he's revered, but he also has just about the same amount of haters, if not more, than supporters.
Makes sense. Now, we always talk politics on this show, but I got Patriot J on, so I got to ask my man little basketball questions. Austin Reeves said he looked around the NBA and he thinks the other white boys aren't doing so hot. But then in the playoffs, he dropped the deuce. What do you think about Austin Reeves shitting on other white boys and then being asked?
Dude, I think towards the end of the regular season, he earned that right to talk as much shit. But yeah, you got to back it up, especially in the playoffs when it matters. I was a believer in his. A lot of people said he was going to fold in the playoffs, but I said no, like, because I really started appreciating him more. I think it was a couple years ago during a playoff series against the Grizzlies. I said, oh, he's showing up when it matters. For whatever reason, he didn't do it this year, and he pulled the D-Lo against the Nuggets and just absolutely didn't do shit.
Now, do you think the Lakers are going to trade Reeves and put some more pieces that make maybe a little more sense around Luka and LeBron? Or is Luka going to get sick of the whole situation? Is he going to come to my city? Is he going to come to Miami?
No, Luka is long-term in LA. And I don't think they're going to get rid of Reeves just because his contract is too valuable. I think they'll move some other pieces around, try to get a big man. And if we get a big man behind Luka and LeBron, that's it.
Yeah, let me ask you this. The lottery just happened. This is Jewcast. I think there was some inside Jew moves that the Jew owners of the Mavericks and the Jew commissioner, that trade Luka to LA didn't seem very kosher in the first place. And then the Mavericks that had a 1.8% chance of winning the lottery won the NBA draft lottery. You smell a rig job there, Patriot J?
Oh, yeah. I mean, how convenient is that? Everybody's looking at the Mavs and Nico Harrison like they're crazy, but now it's kind of all forgiven or almost forgotten because they just got the number one pick, so they'll probably be bringing in Cooper Flag as the new white boy of the Mavs.
Speaking of white boy Cooper Flag, Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, it feels like the white man's taking back the NBA. What do you think of that?
I do think so, man. And I saw a graph too. It's not just the white man in particular. It's like the foreign white man, dude. Like most of the recent MVPs have been foreigners. I don't think there's been an American MVP since 2018, it said. But I mean, I think it's because the game is changing. It's a lot more fast paced. And I think the people who come from overseas kind of can exploit the current NBA because they play in what I feel like is a much more tougher league.
I've heard a theory on this. Like, Jokic grew up in a war zone. Like, Doncic is playing with, 40-year-old men and getting hacked and fouled when he's, 12 years old or whatever. Like, these Eastern European white boys, it's tough out there. And, a lot of the black kids now, they're playing AAU. There's no defense.
Mm-hmm.
They're chucking up threes. A lot of the players are second generation. Like, their dad played the NBA.
Dude. They're not hustling.
Yeah, they're growing up in these soft communities where they're not going hard in the paint. And if you watch the playoffs now, like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, this guy, he looks like a ballerina out there dancing around. And then if somebody touches him, he faints. Oh, I need a foul. What do you think? Is the black man going soft in the NBA, Patriot J?
I think so, man. Dude, the best players from previous generations, they had parents who were on food stamps, always struggling. So it has been interesting to kind of see, I guess, as, people who are children of generations or players from my generation, Melo's son's about to come up, there is a noticeable difference in, I guess, the amount of drive and hunger they have.
Bro, the last superstar the Miami Heat had, Jimmy Butler, this man was abandoned by his family. He was out there living homeless and I gotta succeed. And then he becomes a dude that could go ballistic and drop 40 in the playoffs. Is there a correlation? Is that what it takes?
I think so, honestly, because it's you got to be fighting for something. If
Right.
You know, this game of basketball is going to change your life. You're going to play a lot harder than someone who knows they'll be okay if they only end up playing a couple years in the league.
We got yeah, I got to hit you with all the black issues. I guess that's just that's what's we had
basketball and gangbangers.
We had the president of South Africa in the White House yesterday.
Oh,
what
yeah.
do you think? Is it a white genocide? A genocide of the white farmers in South Africa? What do you think?
I honestly don't know. I think the talking point I'm supposed to say is that it is, but I can't make a position because I hardly care about what's going on outside of my daily life. Asking me to care about what's going on in a different country across the ocean,
it's incredibly fair.
It's tough. Yeah.
It's an incredibly fair position.
Well,
but
I mean, it doesn't really impact us. I mean, it does and it doesn't. You know, like Africa, we should try to have like good trade with Africa because there's fucking resources out the goddamn ass. But at the same right, like we're upset that we're upset that how they're treating white farmers, and I understand that because these people are white and most of them are probably racist. But the concept is like there's horrible shit all over the fucking world that with people we do business
Yeah.
with.
Why are like entire like swaths of people are wiped out all the time all over the planet, like all the fucking time. I can guarantee you this: in Africa, a lot more black people are fucking victimized than white people still. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just this weird thing where I don't understand why it matters to everybody so much. It's the same. It's just they're trying to build conflict, right? Like it's something for us to oppose each other on one more time. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing as like the pro-Hamas and pro-Israel. First of all, most of the people that were pro-Israel are not even Jewish. You guys have never been there. Most of them never plan on fucking going. And I mean, they wouldn't even be that welcome to begin with. And then we've got like literally gays for fucking Palestine. Like you got to be incredibly fucking stupid to be supporting people that would throw you off a fucking roof. You know, like, I mean, you just got to be incredibly dumb, right? But it's the same thing. Why does it matter? Like, if we would just focus on our shit, like America only, I think that would be, because I'm not an America first person. I am literally an America only. If the rest of the world gets fucked, fuck them. I don't give a shit.
I'm with you.
But when also you look at it, like the big talking point is that, Trump ambushed him. Like there was a news clip where all the news stations used the word Trump ambushed this guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm on a stance of, so fucking what, man? Like, I mean, he showed him people in his government actually doing shit. Do you think it was a strong play by Trump, or do you think it was like an ambush?
I'm a big fan of that. I'll preface by saying I didn't watch the clip, but I kind of have a feeling of what happened. And I like the idea of our president confronting a world leader in the Oval Office on the nation's largest stage, right to his face too. That's a lot of times I feel like if something like that might have happened, you would have just read about it the next day saying, oh, Trump in private kind of pressed him on this issue. But no, he did it all in front of cameras so we could all see it. And I was really impressed by that.
Yeah, I like that about Trump. He's very straightforward. He doesn't mess around. And what you see is what you get with him. Thank God that he won. Listen, I know we got to cut it short today, so I want to ask you things before you get out of here. When is the second Patriot J album dropping? I'm looking forward to this thing. People that don't know, the first Patriot J album is Hot Fire. The dude is actually good at
thank you, brother.
When's the second dropping?
I will tell you, I was in the studio 2 nights ago. It's probably going to come out this calendar year, most likely end of the year, November-ish.
We getting any features? Are we getting Bryson? Are we getting Kanye West throwing up a Sieg Heil? What's going on?
No features, no features, no guest verses. It's just myself on the vocals. I got some background vocals from my father and my grandfather, but that's about it.
Can I get on a track?
No.
But
I can honestly send you something.
Oh, just the way he said no, just the way he looked at the camera and said no is fucking priceless.
Oh
my God.
I'm gonna send you a song. I don't know if I can since you have Android, but hopefully I can just text you like the file.
Send it. Ship it.
Yeah.
I want to hear it, man.
All right. Give me like one more because I gotta walk in the court again.
Well, it's been a Awesome having you on. Yeah, I know. I do know you have to run. Patriot J, where can people find you on social media?
Ooh, people can find me on social media. I'm on Twitter at Patriot J, but you can't really find me there because I'm not active. I've been doing a lot of, I guess, work in the real world, not on the online world lately. But my time will come again soon. I'll return to terrorize people's timelines.
What is your message for the people? What do people need to know that they're not really thinking about?
Man, people aren't thinking about how every moment in life is precious and how you need to just kind of, I guess, take it for what it is, drop expectations. You got to lower your stress levels and just be appreciative for the present moment in time because that's all we have.
That's really good advice, bro. And Mark Lobliner is our usual third co-host, not here today. If I can do a little reveal, I know that he helped you get in better shape. What's
Yes,
the
man.
best advice
Oof.
Mark Lobliner gave you getting fit?
Well, it wasn't more so about advice. It was just, I guess, the consistency and following up. But I think the most important thing that I've learned on this journey of, re-sculpting my body is that being like in the kitchen is as essential as being in the gym. You can't out train a bad diet.
Wow.
Yep.
Do you think strong body equals strong mind?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I can feel it myself when I slip off of my routine. I see it in my body, and then it impacts me mentally. But when I'm on my shit, I don't have those issues. So yeah, strong body, strong mind.
Can you cut a wrestling promo before you go? Just like, this is Patriot J. Listen up, kids. Eat your vitamins. Give us some kind of wrestling promo before you get out of here.
All right, guys. It's Patriot J, and I'm encouraging you to live healthy.
Let's go.
Dude, you know,
let's go.
I am actually, I was like, I think I just missed like the wrestling window. Like, I never watched any of that stuff growing up.
Really?
How old were you in 1998?
I was 1.
See, you missed it. Yeah. If you weren't there for Stone Cold Steve Austin, go ahead.
Right.
Alex.
No,
Yeah.
I just wanted to tell him. I just wanted to tell him to fuck off.
Yeah.
All right, gents. Well, I'm logging off. It's been real. I appreciate it. I would have stayed longer if I wasn't unexpectedly stuck in court, but let me know when you want me to come back on, Andrew.
We'd love to talk to you again. Yeah. Patriot J for the people. He's got to go represent, literally. Thank you for coming on, man.
Yes, sir. Later, Andrew. Bye, Alan.
Nice meeting you, man.
Brother.
So that was nice.
That was fun.
How have you been?
Pretty good. I knew that would be a lot of fun talking to Patriot J. He's one of my favorite people to talk to. I love talking to him.
Well, you got to like it when smart, intelligent, and outspoken. Smart, intelligent, and outspoken is what we need in society, if you ask me.
The reason I do this show is because there's so many bad representatives of Jews out there. Like there's these characters running around Twitter named Boxing MDs. He's not even a doctor. He's fake. He doesn't box either, so he's a fake boxer, fake doctor. There's a guy named Adam King. This guy said something so evil. He goes. They ask him on a stream, would you rather eradicate Catholicism or Islam? And he doesn't say, like, I don't want to eradicate somebody's religion. He goes, I want to eradicate Catholicism. And it was so stupid that, like, I've been accused of saying that, like, 500 times. So it's like, wow. I understand, like, and then there's Shmuley, and there's Chuck Schumer. There's so many bad representatives.
Shmuley's got to be a fucking plant.
Oh, he's so gross.
He's got to be a plant. He's got to be.
I don't know what the deal is there, but there's just so many bad reps of Jews that, like, I want to give people a good rep of a Jew. So that's me. That's Mark Lobliner. Like, I want to show, and like same with Patriot J. The more people see like black men like Patriot J and Jason Whitlock, it's like this is the image that can bring us back to where we were in the 90s, where it's like people weren't always doing like racial beef and nonsense. It's like we all get along. Like I get along with Patriot J. That dude is cool and smart and funny, and it's like that's what it should be in America. And people just got to see more people like him and like me and like Alan, and we'll all get along.
Right. The pretty interesting thing is that, like, most of the people that are easy to get along with don't give a shit about like language, don't give a shit about stuff like that, because like it doesn't necessarily affect them. Like, and I just wish we could get back to that. That's kind of like, I'm much older than you guys. I'm definitely Generation X, you know, and it's like we had all this shit solved, dude. Like, I mean, like I had black friends, white friends, Jewish friends, like friends that barely spoke English because their parents were immigrants, like, and we just didn't give a shit. Fuck, I grew up in the timeline of Boy George and shit like that, dude. Like, I mean, like, you know, we didn't give a fuck if you were gay, if you were straight, if you were bi, if you were trans. We couldn't give a shit. And now, just like in the last like 20 or so years, thanks to Obama, we've been told like we have to care about this shit more than anything. Like the color of somebody's skin is really what's important. Who they want to have consensual adult sex with is what's important. Like, why the fuck is like who gives a shit about that stuff? You know, we need people to as MLK said, judge each other on the content of their character. And the new meme on Twitter is like, oh no, see, black people, we were judging you by the content of your character all along. Well, but no, because people are individuals, and when you judge, you know, my friend Todd Alexander, he'll always say like these fools, these like things you see on video on Twitter, like that's not the black people around me. That's not the people I grew up with. That's not the people I know. And it's like people need to understand when you see things go viral on Twitter, it's like the most extreme is what goes viral. Like, or like for the Jews, like the loudest representatives, a lot of time, they're not the best people. There's a lot of the best Jews are very quiet. And same thing with a lot of the best black dudes I know. They're not like Patriot J even just told you he's not very active on social media anymore. He's one of the best dudes out there. But like what's going viral, what you see is like the worst examples of behavior. So people just need to understand, like, don't get psyoped. There's good people that are black, Jew, Muslim, Asian, whatever. Well, mainstream media has done a great job of portraying all this too. White men are evil. Black men's dream is way different than white men. White men's dream is to own a corporation, be the corporate executive, do this. Black men is like, hope you get lucky enough to play sports. You know, I mean, and that is what they've been telling people for fucking decades, dude. Like, if you look at it, the heroes of white people, yeah, I mean, there's some sports heroes in there, but like the white people heroes are all like politicians or business owners or shit like that, right? Black people, it's LeBron James, Michael Jordan, like it's people that like you have to make they never said like, look at Neil deGrasse Tyson, this should be your hero. Like, not that I'm a huge fan of his because of his COVID bullshit, but one of the smartest people on the planet besides COVID, obviously. And it's like he's just seen as like kind of a novelty. But LeBron James is supposedly some sort of like superhuman, like intellectual person just because he can shoot some hoops. I don't fucking understand. You know, like Patriot J, you just had him over here, like literally a fucking lawyer and a rapper. Like, and it's like, why wouldn't he be pushed? You know, the way, you know,
that's all we can do is give a push to the people that give the best possible representation for their people.
Right.
And you know, that's why I had Candace Owens, one of her first interviews was on my show back in the day, because she was representing well at that time. And it's like, that's all we can do. And that's all I ask for. So for the noticers out there, I know a lot of them watch this show these days and like they're afraid to talk to me. It's like you say that you don't like Jews like Shmuley and those type of people, but then they're afraid to talk to me because they wanted to be able to say that all Jews are like Shmuley, and no, we are not. And that's all I can do. Alan, I got to jump off soon too. Just like
same. I gotta run too, because we went later. So next week, sir. Yeah.
I gotta. In 2 weeks, we have lined up. Actually, I don't even want to say it. We have some special guests lined up in 2 weeks, and then this coming Thursday, we should have somebody good as well. So I will
text me. Let me know.
I will get with you, brother. And thank you all for tuning into the Jewcast.
Thank you all. We'll talk soon.
The Holy Trinity Bundle isn't just about weight loss. It's about empowering you to find your healthiest, happiest self. Let's talk about what's in the bundle and how it caters specifically to our needs. First, we got Ember, which is not just any fat burner. It's also going to boost your mood, your energy levels, while also suppressing your appetite. And if you're worried about it being too strong, you can split the tablet in half to tailor its impact. Next, we have Alchemy NCT, which turns the carbs that you eat into energy and not fat. Yes, energy, not fat. This is our way of making sure that the meals that you eat contribute positively to your weight loss journey. And girls, we all know that we want that. And finally, no morbidity. This one's my favorite because it works while you sleep. It burns fat and controls those nighttime cravings without any stimulants, so you wake up feeling refreshed. Try it out and feel the genuine difference. Here's to new beginnings and real results.